Hi y'all, I'm going to inform you on how to pick a bottle of wine. First off, I want to teach you the 5 basic characteristics so you can develop your palate and find your favorites. The first characteristic is sweetness. Sweetness is also known as the level of dryness. It's often the first impression you get of wine. When it hits your tongue, it could be slightly oily in sensation in the middle of your tongue if it lingers. The second characteristic of wine characteristics is acidity. Think of acidity in food and drink as tart is to zesty. It is a tingling sensation that focuses on the front and sides of your tongue. Sometimes it feels like pop rocks. The third characteristic is tannin. Tannin tastes bitter on the front and sides of your mouth and alongside the tongue. It makes your tongue dry out as well. The fourth characteristic is fruit. So wines are often characterized by their main fruit flavors. In red wines, red fruits such as raspberries, dark fruits like blackberry and blueberries. With white wines, there's more lemon, lime, peach, and yellow apple involved. And lastly, the fifth characteristic in basic wine is body. And it depends if you're in the mood for a light, medium, or full-bodied wine. So overall, these 5 wine characteristics help identify and relate different wines to each other. The next section I'm going to talk to you about is the common types of wine and food pairings that blend well with that type of wine. Now, there are 8 different types of wine that will give you a good example of the potential range in the flavors found in that wine. The first one is the Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a full-bodied red wine. It tastes like black cherry, black currant, baking spices, and cedar. You can pair it with lamb, beef, smoked meat, French, and American. Second wine is a Syrah. It's a full-bodied red wine. It tastes of blueberry, plum, pepper, chocolate, and tobacco. It pairs well with the same as the Cab. The third wine is a Zinfandel. It's a medium-bodied red wine, and it tastes like strawberry, blackberry, five-spice, and sweet tobacco. It pairs well with chicken, pork, cured meat, Italian, and many more. The fourth wine is a Pinot Noir. It's a light-bodied red wine. Tastes of cherry, cranberry, clove, and mushrooms. It pairs well with veal, German foods, cream sauces, cheeses, and duck. The fifth wine is a Chardonnay. It's a full-bodied white wine. Tastes like starfruit, yellow apples, butter, and sometimes even chalk. It pairs very well with lobster, a lot of seafood, crab, shrimp, and even chicken too. The sixth wine is a Sauvignon Blanc. It's a light-bodied white wine. It tastes of gooseberry, honeydew melon, passion fruit, and grass. The pairings go well with fish, pork, veal, Mexican, Vietnamese, and French cuisine. Our seventh wine is a Pinot Gris. It's a dry, light-bodied white wine. The taste of nectarine, white peaches, lemon piths, and honeydew. And lastly, our eighth white wine is a Riesling, which is a sweet white wine and one of my favorites. It tastes, have tastes of lime, apples, beeswax, and even honey as well. It goes great with chicken, turkey, Thai food, Indian, and much more. So we've covered the 5 basic characteristics and 8 different types of wine. So I'm going to move along to the next section, which we're going to talk about the price point and your purchasing power. So you have to keep in mind that the more expensive the wine, it doesn't mean necessarily that's the best. You are in control and you don't have to pay through the nose to get a decent bottle. There are many excellent wines out there at the lower end price sale. If you're in a shop or a restaurant, tell the staff what your price range is and your budget, and then ask them to recommend something. So some helpful tips to remember is, this is a fun fact, people wrongfully believe a screw top is a sign of cheap wine and a cork is a sign of a premium vintage, and that's not the case at all. Also, don't forget to swirl your wine. When you pour your wine, give it a swirl. This allows it to release all its flavors, and sometimes it's called the notes of the wine to allow for maximum enjoyment. And lastly, my third tip is, if you have any questions, just ask. The internet is full of helpful advice and how I helped to build this video as well. In conclusion, thank you all for listening. I greatly enjoyed sharing with you a how-to find the perfect bottle of wine for you. I hope you go out and find some fine wine, pour a glass or two, and enjoy. Cheers!